to talk about the big deal that's happened. Berkshire Hathaway has invested in the parent company of Paytm. My colleague Chandra Shrikant is also joining in. But Vijay, congratulations. This is a big announcement coming and a big endorsement for the Paytm business, so to speak. Your first reaction, really?
Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I do believe this is an endorsement of Indian entrepreneurs who are building world-class company out of India. Now, not just investors who are strategic in nature, but now the financial investors, the blue blood capital is looking up to invest in these companies. So I'm very proud for our country and every fellow entrepreneur here, because this beginning of a new kind of capital to come into the company and country.
So, is this beginning of a relationship with Berkshire Hathaway? Have they indicated that they would be committing more capital to Paytm directly or indirectly?
We haven't talked about more capital. They were definitely interested to invest larger amount, but we did not have so much of space in the cap table. So I don't think that we're talking forward rounds yet.
Valuation for the Berkshire Hathaway deal, and what was the valuation of the last, SoftBank deal?
SoftBank deal happened at 7 billion post. So that is 7. It was 7 billion.
The Hathaway deal has happened at what exact price? I just don't want to miss that number.
The SoftBank price?
No. The SoftBank deal you said has happened at $7 billion plus, right?
Yes.
And what was the valuation given by Berkshire Hathaway? I mean, is it higher than $7 billion?
We're not publicly quoting that number because this is not coming out of their press release information that has got approved. So I'm sorry, I won't be able to say this, but I can very comfortably say it's handsomely higher than what SoftBank invested at the price.
Vijay, if you can hear me, this is Chandra calling you from the Bangalore studio. Thank you so much for finally picking that call. I just want to understand how you managed to convince Berkshire to invest in Paytm, because they've been very choosy when it comes to the tech space. I mean, I can almost count on one hand the number of deals they would have done in tech. They've even let go of IBM. They only have Apple. They've regretted not investing in the likes of Amazon and Uber in the past. But take us through how this deal originated, from whose side, what was their interest?
Well, I think I'll give this credit to one of our board members, Mark Schwartz, who's been tremendous help and incredible mentor for me and our board, everyone. So he introduced us to .com of Berkshire, and me and Ravi Arasumali, we went and saw him. We had a lengthy conversation without any document, paper, or a presentation. Freewheeling chat about India, technology, Paytm, competition, different companies, philosophies of life, a lot of conversation. Great chat, great conversation. And then followed up by a couple of calls when we shared some data about the company and information, then questions came up which were answered on the call. And we probably then got talking about the deal there happening, the size of investment and the pricing. So I can't really finger point here what is that one thing over other. I can definitely say this, that we feel that we are a truly privileged one and have a most important, that word that I'd say, that we are here with huge amount of responsibility for proving it to our historical all shareholders in this country, and then our new shareholders in Berkshire Hathaway, that we are a worthy team, we are a worthy, capable business, and I won't be able to finger point what one or other they chose. I don't know their selection criteria officially.
Right. So Todd Combs, one of Berkshire's key fund managers, is the one who led the conversation from their side. That's what you're saying. Their own statement says Warren Buffett wasn't, part of this transaction. But, did he come up at all during the conversations? Because this is ultimately a Berkshire portfolio company now, Paytm. You have Berkshire on your cap table. That's a huge shot in the arm. So just take us through that. Did he feature at all in any of the conversations?
No, I mean, we couldn't see him in person. I couldn't see him in person. And yes, we didn't talk. As far as I know about is that in Sun Valley, Masa Son and Warren Buffett were talking, and it seems Warren told Masa about Paytm investment. That's the only connection or the word that I know of. And I have not seen him yet in person, so it's one of the, I would say, incredible milestone of my life. It seems that I would be able to achieve now, more probable than before, that I'll see him and have a selfie with him.
Right. A selfie with him is what my colleague Tanveer achieved in Mumbai, but hopefully we'll see one with you as well soon. But Vijay, just want to understand what's in it for Berkshire. If I look at the way Paytm has evolved in the last year or two, it's almost become a digital finance conglomerate. I mean, you started with wallets and now UPI, you're talking about selling insurance, mutual fund, basically becoming the financial advisor for every Indian. And of course, you also have the commerce play through Paytm Mall. So is this combination of technology plus finance plus consumer at scale something that perhaps Berkshire was very interested in, and you're doing all three at scale? Was that the biggest attraction for Berkshire to consider Paytm as an investment?
I think you said it so very well. There was definitely an acknowledgement of the scale of number of consumers that we are serving and how well we picked up the moat on payments and grew ahead of everybody else in terms of payments networks that are there, and huge amount of competition that we keep seeing every alternate month from new players. So I think payment as a customer acquiring moat, and then the scale that we built in merchant and consumer network, and obviously that extending to different kind of financial services and the traction in those services. So maybe these are the factors that you're building a large financial services company led by payments as a moat. And I do agree, this is exactly what Paytm stands for. If somebody has to invest for these criteria, I would say. Beyond that, other things or team and the way the company has executed are certain subtle criteria of different teams. But I think end of the day, Paytm stands for India's financial services opportunity with mobile as a central platform.
Right. Vijay, I also want to understand, you're not giving us the exact valuation, but from what I understand, Berkshire Hathaway will get a 3 to 4% in 197, which is your holding company, at a valuation of $10 to $12 billion. And I think the exact amount is rumored to be 2,500 crore. I don't know if you will give us the amount, but what will this mean for you? Are they going to be closely involved at a strategy level? Will we have people from Berkshire joining the Paytm board? Any details that you can share with us on those lines?
Yeah, I think it's not just an investment of in a context of Berkshire balance sheet. It is a small number, like you said. All these range numbers that we're quoting are small. But I think the truest commitment that we see from their side comes when we quote that they would be Todd himself coming on a board member. So I think that is the most incredible outcome that we are seeing of this investment. Money apart, we always have 3 years money in our bank. I think this money makes sure that we implement 3 years.
Important news point there. So Todd Combs, one of Berkshire's key fund managers, is going to join the board of 197, which is the holding company of Paytm, confirmed by Vijay Shekhar Sharma himself. Vijay, just a quick follow-up question. Is this going to be the first of many more deals that we can expect from Berkshire in the Indian tech space? If you look at India Inc. overall, Berkshire has had a very patchy record. Their JV in the insurance space didn't take off. They have an indirect presence to, the Tegu Tech facility here in Bangalore. But in your conversation with Todd Combs, did you see a lot of interest and enthusiasm as far as the tech and startup space is concerned, especially payments?
Well, I think I saw that excitement of a payment network. I saw that payment and financial services, and I didn't have a larger chance around all kinds of Indian tech industry yet. But now that he's on our board and we'll get to see him more often, I'm sure we can pitch many of those conversations in due course.
Vijay, Berkshire Hathaway is one company which focuses on two major aspects, profits and cash flows. So what sense did you give to Berkshire Hathaway fund managers on the comforting factor of, when will Paytm be profitable?
Yeah, I think the keyword, like you were saying, profitable is a wrong misnomer any which ways. I totally believe that profitable neither is valuable nor is the correct benchmark. The truest benchmark of a company is how much amount of cash they generate, the free cash they generate, because you can tweak around to generate more profits, but not free cash flows. And I think that is the philosophy as a company, what 97 has been. I'm sure you know this, that we raised so little money and we generated free cash flow to build Paytm out of our own capital. The first round of Paytm was done when it was valued 600 million, 200 million itself was a statement of that we had generated significant amount of free cash from our operations. I think that is a philosophy that both us and Todd and Berkshire would agree, that we're not building a company for profits. We're building a company which generates sort of free cash, which can get invested, can get reused, anything that you can do. So that is the moat that I believe we commonly share between us. As Paytm, I can tell you, we are very, our numbers are public. You can see some of those numbers, and you can see surprisingly how net contributing positive as a company we are, and so on. I think those things are there in the market to see. Open public, we file those numbers every quarter.
Right. Yeah, Vijay, thanks for clarifying that. Cash flows and Berkshire Hathaway's Nikunj said pretty much go together. But when is Todd Combs expected to visit India? Will he be visiting the 197 office in Noida anytime soon?
I remember that we had a board meeting on 16th of August, and I asked him that would he like to come over and so on. So I think that was the time when the deal was not concluded, and I said he could be a special invitee. But then he said that no problem, next time for sure. So I think when we send our board meeting schedule, I'm sure he would come in the year at least 1 or 2 more times. At least.
Right. Hopefully we will get time with both of you whenever he's in India. But really to, last couple of questions, Vijay, what will this mean as far as your overall plans are concerned? Recently, you spoke about your ambition in the mutual fund space. In fact, you even made a presentation at an Amphi event last week where you spoke about, being the biggest bike seller, gold seller on the digital platform in the country today, and how you want to be a financial advisor to every Indian, right from, the lowest strata of society to the top. So what will all this mean in terms of fueling your expansion plans across categories in terms of becoming a digital financial supermarket in that sense?
Well, I think, investors with deep pockets, investors with deep, incredible amount of learning and capabilities across markets, across different kind of banks and financial institutions, brings the advantage of telling us what should be done, what should not be done, how to take posture and position in the market. And then there are so many large companies that are coming in the world which are fighting for India as a potential market for their business, or financial services as potential new line items. So there is I would say that Berkshire brings us the network of that. Berkshire brings us access to those, and even access which is a sort of advanced access, I could say, to those views of inside audience, that what is being thought about and what is being think, what is the plan we should do. So I think that means a lot to us. I don't think that the amount of money which we are getting, which could have come from as many, would be valued as much as this access and partnership with Berkshire's team and then Todd coming on the board. So the money, even though is not very large, but it is usually and many times more valuable than a traditional other person's money that could have come in.
Right. Vijay, hi, Aisha as well joining in, and I really want to know how will life change for Vijay Shekhar Sharma, founder and CEO of Paytm, because you've got, 3 marquee investors now. You've got Berkshire Hathaway focused on profitability, SoftBank focused on cash flows, and you have Alibaba focused on market share. Is it going to be a case of too many cooks spoil the broth? How is it that you're going to manage expectations of these 3 marquee investors?
It's a sequential thing. You first get large scale, large market share, or to cash flows come. It's a linear thing.
Vijay, everybody, when they look at the Paytm business, they talk about how in all these years that you scaled up the business, right now you're sitting on a lot of data. And we know what's happening with regards to data protection all over the world. It's become a very sensitive issue. It's a jewel in your crown, something that you can use to your advantage. Share with us your broad vision on how I know you've spoken about how you want to make Paytm, an integrated player in the financial services sector. All of that is known, but really, how can you extract the most out of the data that you're sitting on to ensure that you make the most of it from going forward in your larger business vision for Paytm?
So I'll say something which is counterintuitive here. In India, distribution is king over data. I think the distribution of Paytm, the reach of Paytm is the reason of the network effect that creates its value, not necessarily the outcome of data which we have not started using yet. I could say that different verticals of our business will use it differently versus the plan that we have of in terms of our distribution. So our plan is to be distributed across nook and corner and get larger number of consumers. And I think that is the first success that we'll have. And then we build on top of it as the next set of things.
Okay. Vijay, so can one safely say that you've managed to silence... Oops. Okay. Just when we wanted to ask him that, has he managed to silence all those critics and naysayers, some of the big private bankers whose names I will not mention, but saying that this is not a viable, profitable model when Paytm did launch. But yeah, he's managed to really silence all of them.